Everything you see in your life right now starts in your mind. Your mindset is the foundation of your success or failure. If you walk around thinking small, doubting yourself, and expecting the worst, then that's exactly what you're going to get. You can't plant negativity in your mind and expect to harvest success. It doesn't work like that. Your thoughts create your actions, and your actions create your results. So if you want to change your life, the first thing you got to do is change the way you think. Most people stay stuck not because they lack talent or opportunities, but because they don't believe they can be more than what they are right now. They've convinced themselves that where they come from, what they've been through, or what people say about them determines their future. That isn't true. Your past is not your prison unless you keep living in it. But as long as you keep telling yourself this is just who I am, you'll never become who you're meant to be. The difference between people who succeed and people who stay average is the way they see the world. A winner sees problems as challenges to overcome. A loser sees problems as excuses to quit. A winner sees failure as a lesson. A loser sees failure as a reason to give up. The only real difference between the two is mindset. The moment you start thinking like a winner, when you start believing that setbacks and steps and obstacles are opportunities, that's when your life starts changing. You have to be careful about what you let inside your mind. If you keep feeding yourself negativity, bad news, toxic people, self-doubt, you're programming yourself for failure. That's why you have to be intentional. Fill your mind with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. Speak success into your life. Say it out loud. I am capable. I am powerful. I am meant for more. At first, it might not feel real, but keep saying it, because the moment you believe it, you'll start living it. You don't get what you wish for in life. You get what you prepare for. Your mind has to be ahead of your reality. You have to see yourself winning before it happens. You have to act like the person you want to become before you get there. Champions think like champions long before they hold the trophy. If you want more out of life, start training your mind to expect more, to believe more, and to push for more. Once you do that, your actions will follow, and life will start opening doors you never even saw before. A lot of people are stuck because they spend more time blaming than building. They blame their past, their parents, their circumstances, their boss, the government, everybody but themselves. But here's the truth. The moment you blame something outside of you, you give away your power. You're telling yourself that your life is out of your control. And as long as you believe that, you'll stay exactly where you are. The only way to change your life is to take responsibility for it, no matter what happened before. It doesn't matter where you started. Some people come from nothing and make something. Others are given everything and still mess it up. The difference isn't luck, it's ownership. Some folks sit around talking about how life did them wrong, but the real winners take whatever life gives them and find a way to make it work. You have two choices: spend years complaining about what you didn't have, or start using what you do have. One will keep you stuck, the other will move you forward. Every time you make an excuse, you delay your success. I don't have the money. Somebody started with less and still made it. I don't have support. Somebody built their dream alone. I don't have experience. Somebody learned on the job. Excuses are comfortable, but they don't change your reality. The people who win are the ones who stop making excuses and start making moves. They take the same energy they used to blame others and put it into building themselves. You have to stop waiting for somebody to come fix your life. Nobody's coming. It doesn't matter if someone did you wrong, if you got overlooked, if life was unfair. What matters is what you do now. You are responsible for your next move. The past is done. The pain happened, but what now? Or you're going to sit in it, or are you going to rise from it? The second you decide to claim your life, your mindset shifts and the doors start opening. The difference between the people who succeed and the ones who don't is that successful people don't waste time crying over what they can't change. They put their energy into what they can control. They own their decisions, their mistakes, and their progress. They refuse to let their past define their future. The moment you stop blaming and start claiming your life, you stop feeling like a victim and start moving like a winner. The words you speak over yourself are either building you up or tearing you down. Most people don't even realize they are their own worst enemy. They wake up saying, I'm tired, I'm broke, nothing ever works out for me. And then they wonder why life keeps serving them struggle. Your words shape your world. If you keep talking like a failure, don't be surprised when you keep losing. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing the way you talk about yourself. Every successful person you admire spoke their future into existence before they ever saw it. They said, I'm going to make it, long before they had proof. They said, I am worthy when no one else believed it. They said, this is my time, even when everything around them looked like it wasn't. That's the power of speaking life. When you declare something over yourself with confidence, you train your mind to believe it. And once your mind believes it, your actions follow. Too many people let their situation dictate their speech instead of letting their speech dictate their situation. They look at their bank account and say, I'll never get ahead. They get rejected and say, I'll never find love. They fail once and say, maybe I'm just not good enough. That kind of talk is poison. You can't afford to curse your future with negative words. Even when things look bad, you have to learn to speak faith over your life. Your words are seeds and your life is the garden. If all you do is plant doubt, fear, and failure, that's all you're going to grow. But when you start planting power, confidence, and faith, your life starts shifting. That's why you have to be intentional. Stop saying, I can't, and start saying, I will. Stop saying, I'm not ready, and start saying, I'm preparing. Speak success before you see it. Speak healing before you feel it. Speak abundance before you have it. You don't need permission to start speaking power into your life. Stop waiting for someone else to validate you. Stop waiting for people to tell you you're capable. Speak it for yourself. I am built for this. I am chosen for something great. I am stepping into my blessing. Say it until you believe it. Say it until your mind and actions align with it. Because the words you speak today are the reality you're going to live tomorrow. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. If you're waiting to feel ready, waiting for things to get easy, waiting for the perfect moment, you're going to be waiting forever. The people who win in life are the ones who step into discomfort and make it their new normal. You have to train yourself to push past fear, push past doubt, push past that voice in your head telling you to sit down. Because every breakthrough you're looking for is sitting on the other side of your discomfort. Most people stay stuck because they refuse to do what's hard. They avoid the gym because it hurts. They avoid new opportunities because they're scared of failing. They avoid tough conversations because they don't like confrontation. But guess what? Avoiding discomfort only keeps you exactly where you are. Do you want a stronger body? You have to go through the pain of working out. Do you want financial freedom? You have to push through the grind of learning, saving, and sacrificing. Nothing worth having comes without some level of discomfort. The first time you step outside your comfort zone, it's going to feel awkward. You're going to feel like you don't belong, like you don't know what you're doing. That's normal. That's part of the process. But if you keep showing up, if you keep pushing through, eventually what once scared you will become second nature. That's how growth works. What used to intimidate you becomes routine. What used to feel impossible becomes your new standard. Discomfort is the price of leveling up. You can't keep thinking like the old you and expect to step into a new life. The old version of you is comfortable, familiar, and predictable, but it's also limited. Every time you embrace discomfort, you're shedding the old version of yourself and stepping into something greater. That's why successful people don't run from challenges, they chase them. They know that every uncomfortable situation is a chance to stretch, to learn, to become more. If you ever want to see what you're truly capable of, you have to stop running from discomfort and start leaning into it. Get comfortable being a beginner. Get comfortable feeling out of place. Get comfortable doing things that scare you. Because the moment you accept discomfort as part of the journey, you become unstoppable. Let's get one thing clear. If you want to move forward in life, you've got to cut off the people who keep holding you back. Negative people are like anchors. They weigh you down, slow you up, and keep you stuck in the same place. They'll criticize your dreams, tell you what you can't do, and make you feel like you're not enough. You cannot afford to let these people have any space in your life. The more time you spend around negativity, the more you start believing it. It's not about being mean or unkind. It's about protecting your peace and your potential. You can't soar if you're hanging around with people who are comfortable being grounded. You're trying to climb, and they're trying to pull you back down. You're focused on growth, and they're focused on gossip. You've got dreams to chase, and they've got excuses to offer. The longer you keep toxic people around, the longer you delay your success. You need to make room for people who inspire, uplift, and challenge you to be better. Look, you're not obligated to keep people around just because you've known them for years. Friendships and relationships are not about how long you've known someone, they're about how they impact your life. If someone is draining your energy, spreading doubt, or constantly complaining, it's time to let them go. It's not a punishment to them, it's protection for you. Every minute you spend with negativity is a minute you could be using to focus on your goals, your growth, and your happiness. I know it's hard. It's not easy to walk away from people, especially when they've been in your life for a long time. But here's the reality: you can't stay where you are and expect to become who you're meant to be. If they're not pushing you to grow, to think bigger, to rise above your circumstances, then they're holding you back. And there's no room for that if you're serious about winning in life. The longer you keep negative people around, the more you delay your progress. Cutting off negative people isn't just about eliminating toxic relationships. It's about creating space for the right people, the ones who will elevate you, encourage you, and remind you of your worth. The people who are excited to see you win and will support you through every challenge. When you cut off the negativity, you make room for the positivity you need to thrive. Your future deserves people who believe in it as much as you do. Stop letting negative people take up space in your life. Failure is not the end of the road. It's a stepping stone to your success. Too many people are terrified of failure, so much so that they avoid taking risks, they avoid making moves, and they end up stuck in the same place. They let the fear of falling hold them back from climbing higher. But what they don't realize is that failure is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. Every time you fail, you get one step closer to the success you're seeking. When you fail, you learn. When you fail, you grow. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. Do you think the people who made it didn't fail? Do you think they didn't stumble, trip, or fall flat on their faces? Of course they did. The difference between them and the people who never make it is simple. They didn't let failure define them. They got up, dusted themselves off, and kept moving forward. They fell forward. You need to stop seeing failure as a setback and start seeing it as a lesson. Every time something doesn't work out, you have an opportunity to learn something new. You have an opportunity to adjust, to tweak your approach, and to come back stronger. You learn what works and what doesn't. You figure out what you're capable of and what you still need to improve. The real failure is not learning from the mistakes you make. The problem is that most people give up after one failure, 2 or 3. They get discouraged because it didn't happen as quickly as they wanted, or because the road wasn't as smooth as they expected. But let me tell you something. Nobody who's ever done something great has done it on the first try. They fell. They failed. They got up. They kept going. You don't have to get it right the first time. You just have to keep moving. So stop being afraid of failure. Instead of thinking, what if I fail? Start thinking, what if I fail and leads me to something greater? Failure is not the end of the journey, it's part of the process. Every time you fail forward, you gain experience. You sharpen your skills, you build resilience. And every time you get up, you're that much closer to winning. Don't avoid failure, fail forward, and let it lead you to the life you're meant to live. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. One day you'll feel on top of the world, ready to conquer anything that comes your way. The next day you'll feel drained, tired, and uninspired. That's the problem with motivation. It's a temporary high. It comes and goes, and if you rely on it to get you through the grind, you're setting yourself up for failure. The key to success is not motivation, it's discipline. Discipline is the habit of showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's the strength to push through the tiredness, the doubt, and the excuses. It's making the choice every single day to keep moving forward, regardless of how you feel. You don't need motivation to make your bed do the work or keep promises to yourself. What you need is discipline, the kind of discipline that turns actions into results. Think about the people who are the most successful, the athletes, the entrepreneurs, the leaders. Do you think they're always motivated? Of course not. They wake up early when they don't feel like it. They put in the work even when they're exhausted. They keep grinding even when it seems like nothing is happening. And how do they do it? Discipline. They've trained themselves to show up, to perform, and to keep going no matter what. They don't wait for motivation to strike. They rely on the power of their discipline. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what gets you to the finish line. It's easy to be excited at the beginning, to have that rush of energy when you first start a new project or goal. But when the excitement fades, when the newness wears off, what will you do then? If you only rely on motivation, you'll quit when it gets hard. If you have discipline, you'll push through the tough times and keep working. You'll keep showing up day after day, even when it feels like the progress is slow. If you want to succeed, you need to stop waiting for motivation to show up. Stop using your feelings as an excuse to avoid hard work. You don't have to feel inspired to do what needs to be done. You just have to decide to do it. Discipline isn't about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making every moment count. When you choose discipline over motivation, you're choosing consistency over short bursts of effort. And that's how success is built. Time is your most valuable resource. It's the one thing you can't get back, no matter how much money you make or how hard you work. Every second you spend on things that don't move you closer to your goals is a second you'll never get back. You need to understand that not everything deserves your attention. The distractions, the drama, the unnecessary noise is all stealing your time. And if you keep giving it your energy, you'll look up one day and realize you've wasted years on what doesn't even matter. Think about how much time you spend scrolling through social media, getting lost in other people's opinions, or worrying about things that are completely out of your control. How much time are you spending focusing on problems that don't have solutions right now? How many hours are you wasting on toxic relationships, meaningless arguments, and things that don't push you forward? Every minute you give to these things is a minute you could have spent working on your goals, your growth, and your future. Now, I'm not saying to completely cut yourself off from everything that doesn't directly serve your goals, but you need to be intentional with your time. You need to learn how to prioritize what truly matters. The world is full of distractions, but if you keep chasing them, you're never going to get to where you want to be. Start asking yourself, is this helping me grow? Is this moving me forward? Is this worth my time and energy? If the answer is no, then it's time to let it go. You cannot afford to be living in a cycle of distractions, wasting time on things that aren't getting you closer to your dreams. The people who succeed are the ones who understand the value of their time and use it wisely. They don't waste time with negativity. They don't waste time with pointless activities, and they don't waste time on things that won't bring them any closer to their purpose. They know that time is precious, and they spend it on what matters. If you're serious about success, you've got to stop wasting your time on what doesn't matter. You've got to stop letting the little things take up your headspace and your energy. Your time is too valuable to be spent on things that don't contribute to your growth. Start prioritizing what moves you forward and cut out everything else. You'll be amazed at how much more you can accomplish when you stop giving your time to the things that don't matter. Life is a balance of faith, effort, and patience. You can pray all day asking for blessings and breakthroughs, but if you're not willing to put in the work, nothing will change. Prayer isn't a passive act. It's a partnership with God. When you pray, you're making a declaration of faith, asking for guidance, strength, and favor. But prayer alone won't get you where you need to go. You have to show up, put in the work, and prove that you're ready for the blessings you're asking for. God can open doors, but it's up to you to walk through them. When you pray, you're asking for something, but you also have to get busy doing what you can. Don't just sit back and wait for things to happen. Put in the work and hustle like you believe God is going to answer your prayer. Whether it's building a business, growing in your career, or improving your personal life, you have to do the work. You can't expect success to just fall into your lap. Prayer without action is incomplete. You've got to show up every day, no matter how hard it gets, and keep grinding. Keep working like you're already on the path to your destiny. The beauty of this process is that once you've prayed and worked, there's a powerful thing you must do next: trust. Trust that the timing is right. Trust that the plan is already in motion. Trust that God is working things out behind the scenes, even when you can't see it. Trust that your effort is not in vain. The hard work you put in and the faith you show when your prayers are being noticed and things are moving. You may not see it yet, but trust me, your breakthrough is coming. The key is to trust God's timing and stay faithful even when it feels like nothing is happening. Trust is hard. It's hard to trust when the results aren't immediate. It's hard to trust when things aren't moving as quickly as you'd like. But this is where your faith is tested. You've got to learn to trust God in the waiting, trust God in the struggle, and trust God in the silence. This is where your character is built and your destiny is shaped. Without trust, you're constantly fighting against the flow. But with trust, you can let go and let God do what only He can do. So if you want to see change in your life, start with prayer, then back up those prayers with hard work, knowing that faith without works is dead. And then trust. Trust that everything you're doing has a purpose. Trust that God is in control, even when you can't see it. When you pray, work, and trust, you're setting yourself up for the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Keep believing, keep working, and keep trusting the process. Let me tell you something, you are the most powerful force in your own life. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. The moment you start doubting your abilities, you start limiting what you can achieve. You have everything you need inside of you to create the life you've always dreamed of. But it starts with belief. You have to believe in yourself with the same intensity and urgency as if your life depended on it. When you believe in yourself like that, nothing can stop you. There are going to be moments of doubt. There are going to be times when others question you or try to hold you back. People will tell you that your dreams are too big or that you're not capable of achieving what you're aiming for. You can't let that affect you. The belief in yourself has to be unshakable. You cannot allow the opinions of others or even your fear to dictate your path. If you're waiting for the world to believe in you first, you're going to be waiting forever. You've got to take the first step. You've got to believe before you see results. Believing in yourself is not just about saying positive affirmations or having a hopeful mindset. It's about trusting in your ability to overcome challenges, to get through the hard times, and to keep pushing even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. It's about knowing deep down in your soul that no matter what happens, you can find a way. You can solve the problems. You can overcome the obstacles. When you believe in yourself as your life be yours, there is no plan B. You give it everything you've got because you know you're the only one who can make it happen. The reality is that your life truly does depend on how much you believe in yourself. Every moment you waste doubting yourself is a moment you'll never get back. So stop second guessing, stop holding back, and stop thinking that you're not good enough. Believe in yourself like you are the only one who can change your life. Because guess what? You are. You hold the power to create the future you want, and it all starts with the belief that you can do it. Believe in yourself like your life depends on it, because in truth it does.